A ceremony meant for silence. The sky hung low and gray over Arlington that morning, as if the heavens themselves were mourning. Rows of white stones stretched in every direction, perfectly aligned, perfectly solemn. But the silence shattered when Sergeant Daniel Hayes, a decorated veteran, suddenly swayed during his son's funeral and collapsed onto the cold ground, his metals clinking as he hit the pavement. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The honor guard froze. The chaplain halted mid-sentence. And then, something no one expected happened. A tomb guard, one of the elite sentinels of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, broke formation with a precision that looked like a blade cutting through wind. Sentinels never left their post. Never. Unless the situation was extraordinary. Today, it was. Daniel Hayes had survived 2 tours in Afghanistan, a roadside blast that left him with shrapnel scars and the weight of brothers lost in combat. But nothing hurt like laying his only son, Private First Class Ethan Hayes, to rest. Ethan had followed his father's footsteps, joined the Army at 18, and was killed during a humanitarian mission overseas. Daniel's knees had been shaking even before the ceremony began. Memories crashed into him like waves. Ethan's first steps, their fishing trips, his proud smile on enlistment day. The funeral was meant to honor Ethan. Instead, Daniel's body gave out under the pressure of grief and trauma. When he collapsed, medics hurried, but before they could reach him, the crowd noticed the silent figure striding toward the scene. Gloved hands tight, face expressionless, every movement deliberate. Tomb guards are trained to maintain absolute discipline. Rain, heat, storms, even threats never break their focus. To see one walk away from his sacred vigil left the entire gathering stunned. The sentinel knelt beside Daniel with the kind of reverence usually reserved for the unknowns. In a steady, controlled voice, he said, "Sergeant Hayes, you are not falling alone." Daniel, barely conscious, blinked up. The tomb guard slipped an arm behind him, helping him sit, shielding him from the cold ground. The sentinel then did something even more unbelievable. He removed one of his pristine white gloves, a gesture rarely seen, and placed it in Daniel's trembling hand. "Your son served with honor," he said quietly. "As long as we stand watch, his sacrifice is never forgotten." Not a single camera clicked. No one dared disturb the moment. As medics arrived and helped Daniel to a seat, the sentinel stepped back, but not away. He remained standing behind Daniel like a guardian. The funeral resumed, but every eye kept drifting to the sentinel who had broken centuries of ritual to support a grieving father. At the end of the service, the captain of the honor guard approached Daniel. "Sergeant, that sentinel, he requested to attend today. He served with your son." Daniel froze. "What?" The captain nodded. "Your son saved his life. In a firefight last year, the sentinel said he'd stand watch for your family, the same way your son stood watch for him." Daniel's hand shook, gripping the glove tighter. The sentinel approached again, removing his cap for the first time. His eyes were red. "My name is Specialist Aaron Cole," he said softly. "Ethan pulled me out after the explosion. I've been trying to repay that debt ever since." Daniel couldn't speak. He simply wrapped an arm around the young man who had been his son's friend and was, now, unexpectedly, his own. At the end of the service, Daniel insisted on standing for the final salute. His legs wobbled, but Aaron Cole stood beside him, silent like a pillar. The commanding officer called out, "Present! Arms!" Rifles raised, a volley cracked through the air. The trumpet's lonely notes of taps drifted over the cemetery. But while everyone lowered their heads, Daniel noticed movement beside him. The tomb guard, no longer in ceremonial posture, but in something far deeper, saluted Ethan's casket with a slow, deliberate motion, the kind given only to the unknowns, a gesture reserved for legends. The crowd gasped again. Some began to cry openly. Daniel whispered, "Thank you. My son would be proud." Aaron replied, voice steady, "He already is, Sergeant Hayes, and so are we." As the funeral ended, Daniel walked away supported by the very soldier his son had once saved, a living tribute to Ethan's courage. And that day, amid the endless white stones, the bond between father, son, and sentinel became a story that would echo in Arlington for years to come.